Hey, if you're doing any kind of online business in Laos or even just keeping an eye on the country's digital scene, you're going to want to listen up. Something big is coming down the pipeline, and it's set to completely change the game for the entire online marketplace. So let's get right into it and break down what's happening. All right, first things first, pull out your phone, open your calendar, and mark this date down. February 1st, 2026. Seriously, this isn't just some random day. It's a huge deadline from the Laotian government, and it is the turning point for every single online business in the country. So what's the big deal with this specific date? Why does it matter so much? Well, it's the day that a whole new set of rules for e-commerce officially goes into effect. Let's dig into what led to this and what it means for, well, pretty much everyone. To really get why these new rules are even a thing, you have to understand the incredible digital boom happening in Laos right now. I mean, the country is just seeing this massive explosion of online businesses popping up left, right, and center. And we're not talking about a small trend here. This is a massive shift. As this quote points out, the digital economy is growing at an incredible speed. And, whenever you have that kind of crazy, explosive growth, you eventually need some kind of structure. This new regulation is basically a direct response to that success. And when we say online business, believe me, the government is casting a very, very wide net. This applies to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're just one person selling crafts on a Facebook page or doing live sales on TikTok, all the way up to big companies with their own slick websites. If you're selling stuff through any online channel, yep, these new rules are for you. But here's the thing about that kind of rapid growth. For years, the online market in Laos has basically been the Wild West, right? Full of opportunity, for sure, but also totally lacking rules. And that kind of free-for-all environment, well, it created some pretty serious problems. Just think about it for a second. Without any formal system, what happens if a sale goes bad? As a consumer, you had almost no protection. And on the flip side, it was often impossible to even figure out who a seller really was, which, you can guess, opened the door for scams and all sorts of illegal activity. This is the exact problem the government is trying to fix. So to tackle these issues head-on, the government has decided to step in. The goal isn't to stop this digital boom, not at all. It's more about guiding it, building a safer, more reliable foundation for everyone by introducing a new rulebook. And the absolute centerpiece of this new rulebook is mandatory registration. It's actually pretty simple. If you sell online, you are now going to be required to formally register your business with the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. It's a huge move from informal to formal, from anonymous to accountable. Now, what's really interesting here is that this wasn't some snap decision. You can see the government has been building up to this for years. They actually laid the groundwork way back in 2021, spent the next couple of years clarifying the rules and penalties, and now 2026 is the finish line, the moment it all goes into full effect. Okay, so that covers the why. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the how. What does this actually mean for you if you're a seller? What do you physically need to do to get registered and stay on the right side of the law? The short answer? Pretty much everyone who sells online. It doesn't matter if you're just one person with a little side hustle or a big registered company. And it also doesn't matter if you've been selling online for a decade or you're just thinking about starting tomorrow. These rules apply right across the board, no exceptions. And the process itself is actually laid out pretty clearly. First, you've got to get your documents in order. Then you can choose to either go register in person or, and this is a big deal, do it online. They've launched this new e-trust system specifically to make it easier, especially for sellers who aren't in the big cities. Once that's done, you get your official permit, and the last step is just to keep it up to date. Simple as that. So what are the actual stakes here? I mean, what happens if you decide not to register? And what is the bigger picture the government is trying to paint with all of these new regulations? Well, the government is making it crystal clear that they're serious about this. If you don't comply, you could face a whole range of penalties. It might start with a warning, but it can escalate to fines and even potential legal action under other laws. So yeah, the message is loud and clear. This is not optional. When you boil it all down, the government really has three main goals. And if you look at the breakdown, you can see the two biggest priorities are protecting consumers and making sure sellers are traceable, that they can be identified. These two things together are all about building trust. And the third goal, of course, is to cut down on illegal or unregistered businesses operating online. And that is really the key takeaway from all of this. This whole initiative isn't about crushing small businesses. It's about building a stronger foundation for everyone. The idea is that by creating a system based on trust and accountability, the online market in Laos will become safer and way more reliable for both buyers and legitimate sellers. But that does bring us to the final big question. The intention is to create a level playing field and boost consumer confidence, which, in theory, should help legit businesses grow. But will the registration process feel like a helpful step forward, or will it just feel like another piece of red tape, another hurdle for small entrepreneurs to jump over? That is the real question as Laos steps into this brand new era of digital regulation.